I knew a guy that loved cars. He'd come home with one, not just once a year, several times a year. But it wasn't just a car. It had to be the best car. It had to be the most expensive car. It had to be better than anyone else's that was out there. And that became a problem. I want to talk to you about that today in your morning cup of inspiration. What I mean is that became a problem because that led to I had to have the best clothes, I had to have the best jewelry, I have to have more than anybody else. What's that saying? Those who win, die with the most toys win. It's not a real saying, but this is what the wildlife will lead you to believe that I gotta work harder. And greed is good. Remember Wall Street, the movie Wall Street? Greed is good. Well, it's not good. It destroys family. It destroys people. But see, what happens, Satan starts putting doubt in our mind. We start to depend on ourselves instead of trusting in God. Or better yet, we take ourselves out of God's plans for our life. God has a plan for each and every one of us. He wants us to do the best we can do in any position that we're in. But we can't go overboard on something that becomes our God now. Money has become a God. And it replaces the real creator of the universe, God. Hebrews 13:5, I read, "Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God has said, 'Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you.'" Those are powerful words right there. He's not just saying, sit back and I'm going to take care of everything. I'll just wait for manna from heaven to come down. My bills is going to be paid. I'm not going to worry about it. That's not what he means at all. He wants us to do the best in where he has us, because he has a plan for our lives. And he knows what we need. He knows what's going to draw us away from him and what's going to put doubt in our mind, which is Satan. He knows that if we start straying, but we got to stay on that path. So just know that God is faithful. He's faithful. Listen, if we trust him today, he just wants us to put our trust in him. Isaiah 43:2 tells us, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." What does this verse remind you of? The waters aren't going to sweep over you. That's the Israelites. They were getting out of Egypt there, and their backs against the Red Sea, and here comes the Egyptian army, because Pharaoh decided he wanted to bring them back. So what do? They reach out. Moses reaches out to God. He separates the waters, and they crossed over. But they crossed over on dry land. You talk about miracles of miracles. Not just separating the waters, but walking over on dry land. And what about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? The flames will not set you ablaze. They were in a furnace that was 7 times hotter than what it normally is. Yet they walked out of there, not a singe of hair on them. There wasn't a char on any of their clothes. They didn't even smell like smoke. God was with them, and they trusted him. And he can be with you too. He will be with you when you trust him and put your faith in him. God bless you, everyone. I look forward to seeing you again for another morning cup of inspiration. Have a wonderful day.